They'll probably say, where exactly are you going with this? I see you really trying to take it there. Old school flow, chew you out, ain't fair. Jordan pants don't...
Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zod. Anyways, man, I just wanted to get into something because I know a lot of cats, and I know I'm trying to fix the audio as far as like the whole breathing thing. But you know, I understand. I'm an old man, so you know I'm gonna be breathing a lot. You know what I mean? For the cats that constantly be saying, you know, whatever. Yeah, I'm old. It is what it is. But I'm still on YouTube saying what I say. But the whole thing I want to talk about, this whole thing with Israel and Palestine. But it's funny because you know somebody had made a comment about Palestine being the usurpers of Israel, which is kind of funny because you know what, hold on, let me just search it up because I've been fact checking absolutely everything that I say, and let me see. It says this is just to establish when Israel became a nation after they traveled through Europe and all that. Yeah, I ain't gonna go into all that, but I'm just gonna tell you this is, and I've ran this on a few different sites and Google and everything else. So just to clarify, but it says on May 14, 1948, David Ben Gurion, the head of the Jewish agency, proclaimed the establishment of the state of Israel. U.S. President Harry S. Truman recognized the new nation on the same day. Now, who was the usurpers? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not here to play devil's advocate, and I'm not to get on here to necessarily choose sides, because at the end of the day, I still don't forget about what's happening with the blacks in Libya and the whole slave trade thing with the Arabs that's controlling that. See, so either on both sides, it's the same side of the you know, the same coin. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, both people are not necessarily innocent, but to say that Palestine is the usurpers of Israel, when in fact Israel came and took part of Palestine in order to establish their nation. Now that would be the true usurpers, because people like to say that you know, as far as like the Jewish community, like they're the real children of God, which, you know, I'm not here to dispute that, because at the end of the day, I don't necessarily care. At the end of the day, we'll see when, you know, when everything takes place and everything ends, we'll see who are actually God's children and who are not. But it's kind of funny that people like to proclaim that, and then when you say anything about it, you're anti-Semitic, which is, that word is played out. You might as well just say BLM. Like, it's just played out. Like, and I just get tired of hearing it. But at the end of the day, I do got people that I know that are Jewish, but they don't necessarily have these long conversations with me and want to get all up in arms about this and that. You're God's people, but didn't that revolve around the whole Jesus thing, the one that, I mean, you in fact killed? And then when you go and you ask them, do they believe in Jesus, they wholeheartedly say no. They recognize that Jesus was a man, but certain parts in the Torah, which I've read a lot of different Bibles, they have him right there. But I'm not here to get into religion, because that's what this whole is about in the first place, religion, which I don't represent neither or. But I also watched a video of a dude that he was preaching Christianity in Israel, and was persecuted on the spot by multiple Israelites. And they even said right there, when he was like, yeah, you know, he respected them, and you know, and he wasn't there, he gave him the whole shalom thing, and you know, and they're just there. The guy told him that you cannot say this in Israel. He told him, well, if we were in the U.S., you basically would be allowed to state what you want to state within reason. He told him, well, you're not in the U.S., you're not in your country, you're in Israel, you can't say that. You can be arrested for talking about Jesus, and not in a bad way, but in a good way. You could be arrested for preaching about Jesus. And not only do they like to say that the other side are barbaric and everything, but the dude stated out his mouth that they believe that if you worship false idols, as far as like Jesus Christ, they can kill you. You know what I'm saying? They can unalive you. Let me say that. They can unalive you. The irony in it is just so funny how people proclaim to be the gentler, you know what I mean? But yet everything about it is aggression. I seen a video from Israel and they were like, you had some cockamamie Maney chick that was a reporter. She was like, oh my god, they've raped, they've killed, they've tortured, they've did this, they did that, over this many people have died. And then when they went to fact check, she backtracked and said, you know what, I thought because I seen this that there were bodies. The chick was lying the whole time. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, but then you don't go to the other side and really start delving deeper into like with the whole evacuation thing. Like, if you want your life, evacuate. And then for the people to be on a certain road leading out of Palestine only to be bombed multiple times. Now, but they won't go on the news and they won't tell you about that. And if you do speak on it, which I'm assuming they'll do my video like they do all my Biden videos. Every Biden video that I put out, they consider it hate speech, which I don't say nothing bad. I call them how they call us. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, just because I spoke on Biden and the facts could be proven, but they still called it hate speech. They removed the video and then they try to downplay it and make it seem like they're just being nice and like, hey, you know, because of the community guidelines and this and that. But it just goes without saying. Like I say, like, and this ain't even political parties, because at the end of the day, it's like, you choose according to your morality or what you consider to be to your liking as far as their standards of maybe living and how they see things. Like, people like to lump, you know, the left into like one. You know, you got a bunch of irate radicals in the left-wing party, but that's not all of them. You know, that there's left and there's liberals, you know what I'm saying? And people like to mix it up, but I'm not going to get into that. But it's the same with the right. You know, you got some right wingers that's like far right. That's not me. And then you got some that are Republicans, which see things a lot different. Some people see it more extreme. Some people don't. It's a difference in opinions a lot of times. Republicans argue amongst themselves as well, just like the left do. Some people, they have a skewed vision of what the future should be like. But I'm not going to get into that. The whole thing is about Israel and the fact that people put out these false narratives about who's truly the usurpers. But it's like, if you already had a government established and a country established, and somebody comes in and moves you out forcefully and claims it as their own, I mean, and of course use the U.S. to back them, because that's what people do. It's that threat of, you know, and it's no wonder why we're constantly being attacked. And even the whole 9/11 thing, I'm not even getting into that, because, you know what I'm saying, they quick to snatch the video down. But it gets to the point, you know, sometimes like you can't even say nothing. It's like, the proof is in the pudding. You can fact check it. When Israel became a nation, when Israel first landed in Palestine and changed it to Israel, it's a lot. Like, I'll be laughing at these cats that are protesting out here because they're not over there. They're in their houses or they're on the street in BMWs and Lamborghinis. Like, that is so funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would be over here protesting, showing your solidarity, but you're not sending nothing over there. You're living comfortably in America, in Beverly Hills, but yet you're protesting about a war that you're not even taking part in. And at the end of the day, somehow or some way, when they do this draft thing and they push our children into this war, somehow you're going to wiggle your way up out of it. Or this guy, he couldn't do this because he's not circumcised. Like, that type of weird stuff. Like, you're going to find a way to wiggle out of, so you don't have to participate in the war that was started because of you. And it's been a perpetuated war going on. And I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. A lot of this has to do with money. Like, the war machine never stops. It never stops. Whoever's selling arms right now is going to benefit the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot to it. Wars just don't start for no reason. Oh, because we had disagreement or not. It's a lot more that goes into it. It's just people need to dig a lot further. People got their blinders on. But once they take the blinders cameras off and they start to see like all the little strategic moves that are being made, even with the whole one world government and all that, look at people are moving towards this. It's a lot of discord amongst them as well. You see it with the whole Russia and this and that, and then you speak anything about that, your channel gets snatched down. Google said they refuse to allow you to speak ill of these people, which I can find multiple videos where they speak ill of blacks and speak ill of this and speak ill of that. The same people that said that it's racist for whites to have an all-white dating site, but yet they made an all-Jewish site. You can't even get on there unless you're Jews. They don't even want black Jews on there. They want only Jews. You see what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I just wanted to touch on that. Like, you don't be so quick to take one side. Like, it's a lot to this, and it don't really involve any of us. That's a war between them two. It don't really involve us. They're gonna fight till they fight. It's always gonna be a fight because one will always consider itself right, and it's not just between the Israelites and the Palestinians. It's between a lot of Arab countries that don't like Israel because the shady things that have taken place, and and it's funny because how both religions were I'm not even gonna go into that. All I'm gonna say is, like, the real usurpers you already know, but to state it out loud is, you know, it's not like sudden death, but like as far as like your channel and any semblance of a good life might go down the drain because people start pulling, they start calling you weird names. It's journalism. People state what they state. We're content creators, and if we see something we choose to want to speak about, we speak about it. And you got to be able and big enough to, you know, take it without putting, you know, labels on it. Like, even with people like, oh, well, you know, you're wrong because they've always had our back, the NAACP and blah 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 blah. Do you know why it got started, and who has never really been ahead of it? Do you know about the guy that did that rape, and then when he got caught, he tried to blame it on the black dude, but they had irrefutable evidence who did it, and to this day they still blame us for him getting, and they're still blaming us, saying that it was in fact that it was wrong that he died, it was a black man. And I don't know, man. I'm a hurry up and close this video because my nose continue to run, and I got allergies and they're bad. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, man, no, I'm not anti-Semitic, and no, I'm not taking nobody's side. I'm just pointing out the fact of you can't call a person a usurper if you're in fact the one that usurped them. A nation was already established before you came, erased it, and established your own and pushed people to a small little pocket. But like I said, this war has nothing to do with us, especially the black man. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with Hispanics. It has nothing to do with anybody outside of those two races. Because at the end of the day, nobody really cares about you in the first place. Well, as far as them caring about us, they're still going to do what they do. So, I don't know. Call me whatever you want, but can't call me anti-Semitic or anti-Semitic or insta-Semitic. I don't know, man. I'll just call it how I see it. People take it how they want it. YouTube, don't remove the video because we know. We know, you know what I mean? We know. We don't have to get on here Rothschild and all that. We know the powers that and money that's exchanging hands and how you guys do anything. You know what I mean? It's like nobody's stupid. We do it. We just avoid issues because at the end of the day, nothing really changes. And the war machine continues. With that being said, I'm your boy Zod. Come back if you like my content. If you don't, can you continue to stay aloof, and I'll continue to throw out these videos in hopes that multiple people will come and view my content and my interviews to come. Have a good day.
Kneel before Zod!